हेलो एंड वेलकम टू दिस एपिसोड ऑफ आर्ट्स जहाँ पर आज हमारे गेस्ट हैं डॉक्टर जैस्मिन बी गुप्ता और उन्हें 16 साल से भी ज़्यादा का एक्सपीरियंस है बैंकिंग सेक्टर में काम करने का। उनका खुद का एक इनिशिएटिव है लक्ष्मी नाम से। उन्होंने बहुत सारे लोगों की मदद की है फाइनेंशियल एम्पावरमेंट में। तो आप अगर वर्किंग है, नॉन वर्किंग है, हाउस वाइफ है, गर्ल चाइल्ड से लेकर हमने रिटायरीज तक की बात की है, कौन से इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑप्शंस हमारे लिए सेफ होते हैं, एज अ हाउसवाइफ कौन से फिजिबल ऑप्शंस होते हैं, अलग अलग रिस्क फैक्टर को कंसिडर करके कौन से इन्वेस्टमेंट और सेविंग्स के ऑप्शंस होते हैं, ये सारे टॉपिक्स पे आज हमने बात की है। सो कीप वॉचिंग इट टिल द एंड टू गेन सम न्यू इनसाइट्स ऑन फाइनेंशियल एम्पावरमेंट एंड वेलनेस। थैंक यू। वेलकम टू द शो, मिस जैस्मिन.
Thank you so
I'm
much, Ayushi. My
I'm so
pleasure.
excited for this podcast to happen क्योंकि पहली बार है कि हम फाइनेंसेस की यहाँ पे बात करने वाले हैं एंड मेरे नॉलेज में तो ऐसा है कि नो मैटर द लेवल ऑफ इनकम ऑफ पीपल, फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस जो होता है वो सभी के माइंड्स में होता है एंड इट इज़ अ काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रेस जो थ्रू आउट द लाइफ रहता है। एक बार के लिए आपके रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रेस भी आप ओवरकम कर सकते हो बट यू कैन नेवर टेक फाइनेंसेस ऑफ योर माइंड। सो हाउ डू यू थिंक कि हमारे फाइनेंसेस या फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस हमारे ओवरऑल वेलबींग के साथ रिलेटेड है?
Yeah, I think आपने सही बताया, rightly said कि financial wellness is as much important as overall wellness. और it's like for every person, जिसके पास पैसे है, जिसके पास नहीं है और जिसके पास बहुत ज़्यादा है. I think everybody has to manage money, right? So for people जिनके पास नहीं है, obviously earning money is always top of the mind. Then there is a category of people who is actively earning money. Then how to increase the income is always on the top of the mind. And for people who are wealthy, कि जिनके पास ज़्यादा पैसा है, उनको हमेशा ये चिंता रहती है कि भाई कैसे इन्वेस्ट करे, कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करे, कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करने से सबसे ज़्यादा रिटर्न आएगा. सो देर इज़ अगेन दैट वरी ऑफ हाउ डू यू मैनेज योर money well. So I think financial literacy is very, very important for all people, for all categories. Yeah, and this is gender agnostic because men and women दोनों को ही ज़रूरत है, whatever life role that they are playing, कि अपना पैसा कैसे मैनेज करे, कैसे कमाए, कैसे मैनेज करे, कैसे इन्वेस्ट करे, कैसे ग्रो करे. सो ऑल ऑफ दोज एस्पेक्ट्स, आई थिंक दैट एंटायर फाइनेंशियल वेलनेस ऑफ नोइंग हाउ टू मैनेज मनी इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज अभी क्या है कि मनी नहीं है, then every people, there are people who say money is not important. They are liars. Money is very, very important for everything in life. If you have money, then money is not important for you. Till then money is very, very important for you, right? So I think financial wellness has to be a part of every school curriculum, every college curriculum. बहुत छोटे एज से हमें सिखाने की ज़रूरत है लोगों को कि पैसे कैसे बचाने हैं, कैसे कमाने हैं और कैसे उसको ग्रो करना है, कैसे इन्वेस्ट करना है. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज एस्पेक्ट्स आई थिंक टुगेदर आर वेरी क्रिटिकल फ्रॉम अ वेलनेस पॉइंट.
आपने फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी टर्म यूज़ किया है तो एग्जैक्टली फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी क्या होता है? इज इट नॉलेज अबाउट, मैं मेरा परसेप्शन आपको बता रही हूँ, इट इज़ नॉलेज अबाउट सेविंग, इन्वेस्टिंग, यूजिंग डिजिटल एप्स, knowing about banking operations and all? What exactly is financial literacy?
I think it is all of what you mentioned, plus a few things in terms of also managing your credit score, how you manage, how you borrow money, how you use your credit cards, right? Credit scores are important because आपका पूरा financial well-being जो हमने बोला is analyzed by banks and financial institutions based on the person's credit score. So how do you manage your credit score is also a part of financial literacy. So it is not just about saving, investing, also knowing the right way to borrow money, also knowing the right way to use those digital applications, because now UPI is all ubiquitous. सब लोग UPI use कर रहे हैं, right? And I think India is a young country. Millennials and Gen Zs are very comfortable using all the digital tools, right? And hence, post COVID, we have seen a spurt in all the digital transactions. So, knowing how to use those digital applications in a way that you don't fall victim to a fraud, right, is also very important. So, I think this entire thing is all comprises of financial literacy, or financial literacy, I think, is important for whether a person is working or not working, whether the person is doing business or doing or working in
Hmm.
or a salaried person, whether the person has just started the job or is at the point of retirement, whether the person is a man or a woman. I think for everyone, even for kids, because college kids हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि यूपीआई पेमेंट्स करते हैं. And it's not just UPI payments. There are a lot of young generation just starting jobs जो credit cards use करने लगे हैं. They all need to know how to manage their finances well. So I think financial literacy and digital literacy both are very, very important. And if you are financial and digitally literate, then it becomes a way of life for smooth running of the other functions of your life.
बस जैस्मिन ऐसा कहा जाता है कि इट्स नॉट द लैक ऑफ मनी दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम इट इज द वे यू यूज योर मनी that creates problems for you. What do you have to say on this? Because in the context of course, saving skills and your budgeting skills and all, what do you have to say on this?
So I think एक disciplined approach हमेशा चाहिए होता है for managing your money. So there is this famous 50 30
Okay.
20 rule, right? कि आपके
Hmm.
50% of what you are earning, and this is basically for people who have just started their jobs or who are entered the workforce. How do you manage your money? So 50% goes through your needs,
Your
right?
monthly
Because
expense.
आपका grocery है या your house rent, so your primary needs basically. Then 30% is what you spend on your wants, which is like going out for a movie or a picnic or some recreation or buying something which is a luxury item, which is not necessarily a primary need, but of course it makes sense to have that in your life. And then 20% is compulsorily saving, and you need to put aside 20% every month. And I'll be happy to share something about my life. In fact, when I started working and earning for the first time, I think I was quite a spendthrift. And that's when my father actually brought it to my notice that I need to start saving. And I still remember what I told him. I said, "It's okay. Tomorrow I'll earn more. So it's okay. It will be taken care of." He said, "No, it's not about earning more or less. It's about being very
Make a
disciplined with saving. Yeah, with saving from the very beginning, even if it is 20%. And of course, you can keep on increasing. As your income increases, you can, of course, keep on increasing your saving. I think in a country like India, this makes a lot of sense because most of the people don't have social security. Most of the people are not pensioners, right? So, to plan for retirement at a very early age is something that everybody needs to learn early on,
Okay.
because they have a work life span of, say, 40 years. And in that 40 years, maybe you need to plan for the next 40 years.
So what you want to say is कि the moment we enter into workforce, जब हम पैसा कमाना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं तभी से हमारे माइंड में रिटायरमेंट की प्लानिंग स्टार्ट हो जानी चाहिए.
Well, Anisha, the earlier the better, because as we all know, money follows a principle of compounding. You save your money today, after 10 years, I think the magic of compounding works, right? So, as early as possible, if you can start, you can actually benefit from the power of compounding. And this is something which is very, very important, because there are people who may not save in their 20s, 30s maybe, matlab spend karo, luxury karo, it's like vacations, tours, enjoy your life. This is the best time of life. And then when you are 40 and if you start saving at that point in time, I think you're too late. And then you'll have to maybe save a lot more to reach that retirement goal. So I think goal-based investment planning is very, very important, is what we usually say. Ki retirement is one goal. And then every goal which requires money need to be planned
Hmm.
accordingly.
And how can one plan for retirement?
Okay. So again, this depends on
Hmm.
person to person. Uh, but the fact remains the same that every person needs to plan for it, and that too early on. Now, how much money do you want for your retirement is a very personal question. For some, maybe 5 crores is enough. For some, maybe 20 crores is also not enough. So again, it's about personal choice. So I think the most important thing is to have that number in mind as to what is it that I want as my retirement amount, right? Uh, I don't think at very early stage in your 20s you need to worry about what that amount can be. But maybe as you gradually move towards your goals, where you know that, okay, you have kept aside a saving corpus every year, then you know that, okay, this is the goal. This is the lifestyle for my 10-15 years. If you live your life on your own money, you've actually understood how uh, your money personality, basically how you are used to spending money, how you are used to saving money. And I think based on your money personality, then you can actually think of what is the corpus that you should build for your retirement, right? So again, a personal choice, but a very disciplined systematic approach to saving is needed for achieving that retirement goal. And there are again so many investment options available, right? So again, financial literacy comes in, for you to figure out whether it is advisable to invest in stocks or mutual funds or fixed deposits, or there are so many options which are some are risk free, some are riskier. So creating a portfolio and allocating your assets in a way that on a long term basis you are able to maximize and earn through compounding is very, very important. I think asset allocation, portfolio management, these are some of the jargons that are used, but ultimately the understanding and meaning is the same, that you are understanding the investment options available and you are investing in such a way that you achieve that goal, whatever that goal is, in a very stress free way, right? Because ultimately, you want to live a stress free life, and money can actually enable that. In fact, there is this new concept of FIRE, yeah, financially independent, retire early. Yeah, and this one is very famous amongst the millennials. Yeah, because I think we've seen our older generations working their entire life, and somewhere I think millennials don't want to do that. Yeah, because I think people have understood, maybe because of COVID or maybe because of other reasons, that life is not just for earning money. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that you can do with your life. Yeah. And so a lot of millennials I have seen lately want to achieve their fire target as soon as possible, right? Because then you are free to work at your will. There are no financial burdens, and you're also able to pursue a lot of activities that you are passionate about without worrying about that paycheck, right? So I think fire, I love that concept for sure. And I think it's a definitely a good revolution that we see around us. But having said that, I think people should not burn themselves up just to achieve their fire number as soon as possible. That's also something to be kept in mind.
Yeah, I do agree that retiring early is a good idea to look at, but again मैं इस चीज़ से अग्री करती हूँ कि हम अर्न करने की हरी में हैं, बट देन आर वी सेविंग इनफ? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन मार्क. क्योंकि व्हेन आई लुक बैक, I was given only the money that my grandparents or parents used to give me on special festivals or occasions. सिर्फ उतना ही अमाउंट हुआ करता था जिससे मुझे मेरी सेविंग स्किल्स और बजटिंग स्किल्स एक्सरसाइज करनी है. बट आज के जेनजी या फिर फॉर दैट केस मिलेनियल्स ऑल्सो, are they saving enough, or are they maxing out their credit cards also? Because I do see them being spendthrift enough. So, what do you have to say on that?
Um, yes, so I think my experience is also very similar. जब छोटे बच्चे थे तो दिवाली was
Festive.
one festival जहाँ पे all the elders in the family used to give us money. And I really used to count at the end of the day, okay, मैंने आज इतने बनाए, And I think that was a very delightful thing. I used to carry a special small purse also, just to store all that money that everybody used to give me. And at the end of the day, I still remember I will go and give it to my dad for keeping it safe. Yeah, and till date, I do that. So,
Times are different, no?
mostly with, yeah,
Kids use
now
debit cards and credit cards.
kids use, kids, of course, we don't issue credit cards to kids for sure. And, maybe if parents
Yeah.
are giving their credit cards to kids, I think a very important note to those parents not to give or share their personal credit cards with kids, because credit cards are, to be used very, um, I would say, in a way that you are very sure that you will be able to pay up within the next cycle of, once your credit period gets over. And this is where I've seen not just Gen Z, but a lot of millennials also falter. I have seen people who use up credit cards, not just one, two, three, four, and then pay up the minimum amount, and due date पे वो पे कर दिया, and then every month it is rolling and keep adding. And I think then they figure out after a few months that they are actually reaching a stage where मतलब almost bankruptcy वाला stage आ जाता है. So I think their caution is required, and that's where again I would say financial literacy is very important, because very young, when people start earning, I have seen kids who have joined call centers or first job, second job में credit card मिलता है, easily मिलता है आज की तारीख में. So maybe because they are not very serious about managing money, or maybe because they are using it for the first time, they think अच्छा बाद में आएगा सैलरी, बाद में पे कर देंगे. They don't know कि ये debt का जो ट्रैप है उसमें वो फंसते जा रहे हैं. एंड दे ऑल्सो डोंट नो कि इसमें फंसने से मेरा क्रेडिट स्कोर खराब होगा, और उसके वजह से लेटर ऑन इन लाइफ व्हेन आई नीड समथिंग रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, से फॉर एग्जांपल हाउसिंग लोन, मुझे वो नहीं मिलेगा, या तो फिर बहुत हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट पे मिलेगा, एंड दैट ऑल्सो फ्रॉम सम फाइनेंस कंपनी, नॉट नेसेसरीली फ्रॉम अ बैंक. सो आई थिंक that's very important. There are a lot of fintech companies who have also entered this space and are offering co-branded credit cards. They're also offering digital lending, which is very easy loans, I would say. And while there are certain loans, say for example, loans given for business development for MSMEs, I think that makes sense because that amount is being used for business generation activities. But any consumer loan or personal loan, which is given for a vacation or which is given for, short-term funding requirement, I think it's mostly detrimental. And now, because there are so many fintech companies who are offering these loans in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, right? I think what has happened in our country is people have taken multiple loans at the same time. There are people who have taken 10 to 12 loans, and they are using one loan to pay EMIs of another loan and just taking another loan for paying EMIs of the first loan. I think they are already in a debt circle, yeah. And if a lot of people, I think, fall into this kind of a behavior, then it is no more a personal issue. It becomes a systemic risk for the entire country. So I think it's very, very important that with technology, with digitalization, with newer solutions, with faster, speedier solutions, while we are making life easier, it's also important to see the outfall of it and do enough to ensure that the risk is minimized.
Also, no matter how much we say कि financial literacy जेंडर न्यूट्रल है, मेन विमेन सब पे इक्वली अप्लाई करती है, लेकिन अभी भी हम देखें तो घरों में शायद लेडीज़ का उतना पार्टिसिपेशन नहीं होता है जब फाइनेंसेस डिस्कस होते हैं तो। हाउ डू यू थिंक दिस रोल्स आउट in terms of the worth of a woman in a family?
Okay. So, see, if we look at data also, many women definitely, Beti Padhao and all those abhiyans के कारण women have started being educated. And so many women are educated and they definitely also look for their first job, they start earning. Uske baad we see dropouts, specifically for reasons like marriage हो गया, they may have to move cities या फिर move countries, then child elder care. I think there are so many reasons in a woman's life because of which they may, and in fact, they are the first ones to, stop their careers or stop earning. It is not a woman specific problem. I think it's a society specific problem, the patriarchal society that we live in. Women are expected to bear the load of all the domestic work in the house, right? And I think while a lot of women do break through and achieve a lot of things in their career, I think again they remain exceptions, right? So one thing is the society definitely needs to change to be able to make it easier for women to go and earn, right? Because if so many responsibilities are on women, many women I've seen give up only because of that. Second thing is, okay, for the women who are also earning, for the 20-25% of women who still continue, fight out, and still, push ahead, uh, I think, again, what we have seen is women who uh, are maybe in the field of finance are able to manage their finances themselves. But there are a lot of women who work in IT firms, in pharma firms, in manufacturing, who may not be aware about money management. They tend to give away whatever they've earned over
Their husbands or
their husbands or their fathers, whoever is the male member in the family, so that it's taken care of, right? So they don't want to actively get involved into managing money. So I think a lot of change is required there as well. And so one of the earlier companies which I had co-founded called Lakshmi, uh, the uh, the initiative was all about making women financially literate and financially independent so that they know how to manage the money. And it's not just about managing only the money that you earn. It can also be managing your family finances. Even if you're not earning, at least you are able to manage, uh, your house budget. If you manage to save and invest on behalf of your family, I think those are also small steps that women can
Okay,
take.
give me very very specific tips जो पेरेंट्स यूज कर सकते हैं, मे बी 10-year old kid के पेरेंट्स. Number one, to teach their kids budgeting skills and saving skills, and number two, to teach their girl kids the same skills that they are imparting to their boys.
Okay. So then the answer remains the same, right? I think mostly in the modern families that we see around, there is little differentiation between children, a girl child and a male child, especially in the urban India that we live in. Of course, it is still not so much in the tier 4, the interior parts of the country. But as far as parents are concerned, I think they treat their kids definitely equally in most of the most of our urban India. I would say it's very important for parents to make their kids aware about the value of money. So it's not, even if they can afford it, it's not that they should buy everything that the kid wants. So, one is the kid needs to understand the value of money from the very beginning. Important not to waste money. So, first thing, don't buy everything that your kid wants. Make him or her realize that life can continue without that thing as well, right? That's very important. Second, if you are giving pocket money, whatever that amount is, please ask the kid to maintain a ledger of what where he is spending or she is spending the amount, whatever amount, whether it is chocolate or whether it is given to friend or a birthday party or whatever, wherever. Yeah, that will teach the kid how to budget expenses, right? And next time when the kid comes, you need to actually figure out whether the money has been spent on the right activities. I think that will enable the kid also to not just budget the expenses but also see what can the kid plan for the next pocket money that he or she is going to receive from the parents. Also, how much is the kid able to save from that whatever pocket money that you have given? Is she using it all up, or is she also saving something aside, maybe for the next month? Or maybe is she also collecting money for something bigger that she wants in future? Right. So I think these are some ways parents can teach money skills early on. I think schools can also do a lot, right? Because while of course we don't give debit cards to kids, many kids do have their accounts with parents as guardians. So I've seen parents also taking their kids to banks to show them how the bank operates, how to deposit money, how to do some, how it all operates. I think those early impressions are also very important for kids to learn. Schools can also do a lot of personal finance education, starting from maybe using animation or gamification for kids to make money learning interesting. And not just schools, I also feel that there is a lack of financial education even at a university level, where college students, if they are made aware about money management, and I think money management also includes taxation, because that's also one thing that people realize that they don't know how to figure it out when they start earning. So all of those aspects, I think, need to be part of university curriculums as well, whether it is a science student or whether it's a commerce or an art student, irrelevant of that. I think it's
ओके
important.
टेल मी एक नॉन वर्किंग वुमन के लिए मिडिल क्लास फैमिली से क्या क्या फीजिबल इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं
Okay. Uh, I think many options. So, one is she can start small with a systematic investment plan in mutual funds. And today, mutual fund investments, SIPs, especially start with 100 rupees per month. So, even if she has 2000 or 5000 that she is saving every month,
even if she is
Mm.
let's say 45 or 50 then also it makes sense to invest in SIPs. Okay.
it makes sense to invest in SIP. Again, it is entire science for us to understand how SIPs work. Uh, I think the biggest benefit of SIP is that you are spending time in the market and not timing the market, right? So when you spend time in the market, even if you are 45 or 55, a 15 or 10-year time period is a long horizon. Even if we consider 60 is what the target is, it can be 70 also, right? So they can keep on saving if we talk of a housewife kind of a situation. So SIP is definitely a very good way of getting invested into the market without um, I think a very deep understanding required of all the stocks and the entire stock market, because uh, entering the stock market requires a lot of things where you need to understand the technical and the fundamental analysis of each and every company that you want to invest in. The risk is high, right? And not everyone can do it. So this is a safer alternative through mutual funds, and SIP is the best way of getting into mutual funds. I think mostly women go for gold, right? Gold is not a bad
Even his
investment,
ornaments.
I would always say. Uh, in ornaments, of course, why not? If you're happy about wearing your ornaments, at the same time, they also need to know that there are gold ETFs, gold mutual funds, where you can also have paper gold investment, which can be in smaller units, right? So it's not necessary that gold has to be gold physical, but now there are digital gold available. So whether it is digital gold or whether it's physical gold, I think both are good options, and both are options that women may want to, get into. Um, Third, because women may want their investments to be risk free, yeah, it makes sense to have fixed deposits also with banks. I think that's also a good option. So I think it's very important to have a balanced portfolio. It's not that you keep 100%, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, is what we is very famous in the investment world. So it's important that you have fixed income instruments. It's also important. So while I would not say a housewife should go into investing into bonds or corporate deposits, because then it will require her to go deeper into the financial world to understand the nitty-gritties. But some very, very simple things that she can definitely invest in is fixed deposit, in SIP mutual fund. Not necessary to go to Zerodha and start her investment trading account or securities account और शेयर बेचा खरीदा वो
नहीं
करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Her life can be simple, disciplined, and she can still benefit from the power of compounding and grow her whatever money that she is managing. But important that the portfolio is balanced in terms of fixed and uh, you know risky instruments. So again, there is this logic of 100. के the science says that uh, whatever your age is, right? By 100 minus your age, you should put into
Okay.
equities. The rest can be into debt. So as you grow older, your investment in equities should come down and your investment in fixed instruments should increase. And if you follow this principle, so at 100 minus 20, if you're 20-year-old, you can afford 80% into equities, right? But at a 60-year or a 50-year-old person, that needs to be very well balanced. So this principle largely works. Of course, it can be anything around that, but largely I think the principle works.
Okay, let me give you another hypothetical situation. So let's say there is a woman who is 45 and who has unfortunately lost her husband, uh, either to death or maybe she is a divorced woman. Now she has got a lump sum. या तो उन्हें इंश्योरेंस से मिला होगा या एलिमनी से मिला होगा इन ईदर ऑफ द वेज. हाँ, आप कुछ टिप्स दे सकते हैं कि वो ये लमसम को कैसे वाइजली यूज करे फॉर हर मेंटेनेंस फॉर रेजिंग हर किड्स.
Okay. I think it depends a lot on the overall financial situation of that woman also. At the same time, whatever corpus that she is receiving in terms of whether it's the provident fund of her husband's company or the insurance amount that she has received, a lot of factors. Like for example, is the house owned, or uh, it is a house where the mortgage still continues, but whether the loan still continues, right? So these are also factors that will determine how much corpus that tree is left with. Considering the situation that maybe they own the house where they live in, and They don't have any liability,
Yeah.
no loans, etc. Or maybe the loans that were taken were all insured and so paid after the husband's death. Um, I think the investment can be considering the goals, and this is very important for her to make very goal based investments because she needs money for her kids, marriage, kids' education, and maybe for her retirement. I think so. If these three are main goals, and depending on the time period. So, if the kid is 10-year old or if the kid is 15 or 20-year old, that will also make a lot of difference in the investment choice that she has to make. Assuming that the kid is just 10-year old and maybe she has a lot of time for the kid to achieve higher education, then she can definitely put some portion of the amount into equities, right? Because that's where the money grows faster. And equities does not mean she needs to get on to understanding stocks. She can also do indirectly through mutual funds, right? At the same time, she can also invest. In fact, the safest investment we've always said was the PPF earlier because it used to be long term. It used to give tax free returns. So, most of the people used to prefer PPF for long term investments. So, if you don't want to withdraw your money, say for 15 years for long term goals, she can also start investing in that, right? Uh, then I think some portion of it she should keep it in definitely fixed interest bearing instruments where on a monthly basis she is able to get some interest which she can use for her monthly expenses. That is also very important because if she is not earning and there is no income, she definitely needs to plan for her income. And that's the most immediate requirement. And there she cannot take any risk. So, there I think fixed income safe instruments which can offer her, which can be fixed deposits or which can be bonds. So, again, it will all depend on how she progresses on her financial journey. So she may start with something very familiar or very simple like a fixed deposit. Then she can move to corporate bonds and see if she's able to get higher returns. Of course, that will also take a lot of learning on her part as she starts her journey, right? So I think all of these components put together and I think I can definitely share an example. One of our colleague, her husband expired when she was just 40, and at 40, maybe she was not ready for something like this in her life. Fortunately, she was earning. Fortunately, she knew how to manage money. Yeah, and so uh, such an unfortunate incident uh, did not actually create a lot of imbalance in her life, at least financially, if not emotionally. So that's why we always say that women need to be financially independent. Yeah, it's not just enough to be financially literate. You need to be financially independent, you need to be financially fit and fearless so that you are able to stand on your feet when something like this happens. So I think a long way for our country to go, but I think we are going in the right direction.
Okay. Now, a little different question, but how would you empower your maid, your house help, who's a female, financially?
Uh, I'll tell you the story of our housemaid. In fact, she was earning some 20,000 per month working in
20,000? That's
four
a dumb
places. Yes, 20
for a maid.
20,000, but of course, that's hard work, right? And as she started, and everything is used up. See, the biggest problem at this level is if you're hand to mouth, there's hardly any scope
Yeah,
for saving.
exactly.
Yes. So I had asked her to save at least 10%, not more, but just 10% of what she was earning. And she started putting her money with us, saying, okay, 10% jama rakho, jama karo. And then I think after
Hmm.
10 years, maybe that's what she worked with us. After 10 years, she had a sizable corpus with which she also bought her house. Yes. So I think maybe when we told her that, this 10, keeping aside 10% is very important. You don't take it home. And she was also insisting, then don't give it to me. If I'll take it home, it will get used up. Right. So I think, and again, it just brings her to the same theory that if you earn more, you'll be able to save more, right? So, housemaid, the amount of saving is of course very very meager, but at the same time, having 3 lakhs to buy a house is again a big thing for that person, right? And everybody starts small. Having said that, I would have loved that woman to, earn much more. And today you'll be happy to know that she is no more a housemaid. She's running her own business of tailoring. She's employing 2, 3 women and supplying to a few companies and again set up with the money that she could save. Yeah, so I think that transition from a housemaid to a businesswoman is also very important from for them, not just from a financial point of view, but also from a dignity point of view.
हम्म आपने बहुत सारे टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज़ में काम किया है फाइनेंशियल एम्पावरमेंट को लेकर, बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स रन किए। आपका क्या ऑब्ज़र्वेशन है वहाँ के मेल मेंबर्स और फीमेल मेंबर्स की कंडीशंस को लेकर?
आई थिंक डेटा देखे या फिर नॉर्मली अवर एक्सपीरियंस से भी यही पता चला है कि अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में या रूरल एरियाज में
हुँ,
women are more actively involved
हुँ,
in earning.
हुँ,
ठीक है, सो हम लोग देखेंगे कि whether they are laborers or whether they are farmers, तो women भी equally उतना ही काम करते हैं,
हुँ,
right? So women are more employed
हुँ,
in the rural India as compared to urban India, of course, maybe because there is a high level of need also.
हुँ,
At the same time, considering the fact that it's a patriarchal society and conditioning इस तरह से हुआ है society का, so there are a lot of episodes of domestic violence that we see across, right? So we see women who मार खाते हैं घर पे पर फिर भी वहीं पे रहने जाते हैं because there's no choice. This is how it is. और उनको यही सिखाया गया है कि ऐसे ही रहना है. तुम्हें मारे या पीटे या जो भी करे.
हुँ,
So there are some cases where we feel that women are definitely underprivileged,
हुँ,
but again on a larger scale, because women are earning, they have respect. Also, अपना जो microfinance का जो पूरा industry है, which is based on lending to women, especially to groups of women. तो उसके कारण भी क्या हुआ है, विमेन का रिस्पेक्ट बढ़ता है फैमिली में बिकॉज दे नो कि अगर उनको कोई लोन चाहिए तो इट कैन कम ओनली थ्रू द वुमन
हुँ,
in the family. So that is also one thing where the woman gets the loan, and then of course many a times we have also seen situations के पीछे तो वो हस्बैंड ही होता है जो लोन लेने वाला होता है. So those are practical problems. But at the same time, women get to have some say,
हुँ,
right? सो ये जो विमेन है मोस्टली ये पैसे लेते हैं, तो हमने देखा है कि कुछ कुछ घर में ठीक काम करवाना होता है, टॉयलेट बनवाना होता है, छोटा सा कुछ बिजनेस चालू करना होता है. सो दीज आर द पर्पसेस फॉर विच दे यूजुअली टेक
ओके,
लोन्स. एंड व्हाट वी आल्सो ऑब्जर्व्ड इज व्हेन इट कम्स टू सेविंग, जब हम उनको बोलते हैं कि थोड़ा सेव करना चाहिए आपको, तो सेविंग उनको करना है फॉर देयर किड्स.
हुँ,
Yeah, so this is one very peculiar thing कि women को family के लिए करना है, mostly because women are family oriented, they care so much for the family. So the financial version of women is also very family oriented, is what we have seen and observed, right? So I think because of a lot of these initiatives in the financial space, women are able to earn, are able to get credit, are able to सेफ। बट 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जहाँ पे और एफर्ट की ज़रूरत है, व्हिच इज़ वन इज़ इंश्योरेंस,
ओके।
बिकॉज़ इंडिया एज़ सच इज़ एन अंडर इंश्योर्ड कंट्री,
हुँ,
और इसमें भी वुमेन सबसे कम इंश्योर्ड है। सो इंश्योरेंस हैज़ नॉट पेनिट्रेटेड वेरी डीप into our country. And second thing is having access to larger investment avenues, जो tier 2 tier 3 अभी तो tier 2 tier 3 में है,
हुँ,
because now because of digital platforms everybody is able to access the markets, everybody is able to invest digitally. आई थिंक विमेन जो रूरल एरियाज में थे उनके पास मोबाइल फोन लास्ट आता है घर में,
हुँ,
and while in an urban India we see every person has his or her own mobile, it's not the same in rural India or the Bharat of our country. So where एक फ़ोन होता है, एक स्मार्टफोन घर में एवरी हाउस होल्ड में, और सबसे लास्ट वो वीमेन के पास आता है, राइट? जब बच्चों ने गेम्स खेल लिया, जब मर्दों ने काम कर लिया, फॉर सो द लास्ट पर्सन इज द वुमन. सो देयर वाज दिस इनिशिएटिव वेयर आई लॉन्च दिस पहल संगीनी ऐप,
ओके।
where we were onboarding women onto the app and making them digitally and financially literate. Now,
ओके।
when we talk of literacy, सिर्फ literacy से काम नहीं होता है,
हुँ,
सिर्फ सिखाने से काम नहीं
हुँ,
होता है, सिर्फ बेटियां पढ़ाने से काम नहीं होता है. We need to give them something through which they can take action,
हुँ,
right? So some platform जिससे वो खुद सीखे और करे. If they start doing it, then they gain confidence, and then they are able to actually become financially independent in the right spirit. So
एब्सोल्यूट।
whether it is rural or urban, I'm just saying that for this particular segment, if we talk about, action oriented initiatives are very, very important.
Okay, you're also a director of Indian Institute of Sustainability, and these days we are seeing mindless consumerism. In fact, मुझे अगर एक चीज़ चाहिए तो मैं उसकी जगह 10 लूँगी, because my spending power has gone up, and options in the market also have gone up to a certain extent. So in this scenario, how do you think कि consumerism is affecting our financial markets, or our not only our spending power but also sustainability के point of view से the situation of Mother Earth that we can talk about?
So very recently in one of the conclaves, I think the deputy RBI governor,
Hmm.
Mr. Rao, he did mention that environmental risk is
Hmm.
not just environmental risk, it's
Hmm.
actually a financial risk,
Hmm.
right? Because of environment,
Hmm.
if anything goes wrong in agriculture
Hmm.
and our farmers suffer, it actually impacts their ability to pay up their loans. In fact, I don't know, after many, many years back, Hyderabad was the place where a lot of farmers, even in Maharashtra, a lot of farmers commit suicides
Hmm.
just because they are not able to pay back. We also observe that, there are a lot of reasons for environmental detrimentation. Now, many a times, we meet general people, they say, हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वो तो गवर्नमेंट को करना चाहिए, right? We are very small people, but I think every person matters when it comes to environmental protection. Uh, every person who chooses not to use plastic, every person who chooses not to throw dirt on the streets, every person who chooses to use waste management, proper waste management, or proper dustbins, or every person who uses organic produce, I think they all are indirectly or directly contributing to environment first approach towards living a sustainable lifestyle.
And coming to the last question, if you have accessibility to a corpus of, let's say, 10 crores, what steps would you take in direction of financial empowerment of people of India?
Uh, I think there's a lot
Hmm.
that needs to be done,
Hmm.
right from financial education
Okay.
to financial innovation,
Hmm.
right? And I think these are good times because this is the time where people have become very digital. So I think I would definitely want to take a lot of digital initiatives in educating people. Now, uh, when it comes to educating, it needs to be a very target segment specific approach
Hmm.
because you can't have a common financial education for all the segments.
Hmm.
So kids के लिए अलग चाहिए, women के लिए अलग चाहिए, सैलरीड लोगों के लिए अलग चाहिए, retirees के लिए अलग चाहिए, right? So at every level, at every step of the cycle of life, um, I think the requirements are very different. So when it comes to financial education, it cannot be a paintbrush approach. So I really want that we have target segment specific financial education imparted at every level. So I think my first approach would be to make money education easy and accessible for all based on the target segment.
Okay.
Right? So that is one. Second, as I already mentioned, self education is not enough. So there is a lot of action orientation that we need. So getting people to make their first investment, to start their first SIP, to get them to, uh, talk about money
Hmm.
in a very easy way, to give them that platform where they are able to talk about money freely, to be able to give them that platform jahan pe, they can ask a lot of questions and get their money problems solved. Also, to give them the right tools.
Hmm.
Yeah. And if we don't have the tools, we also want to build those tools. So I think financial innovation is very, very important. And that's where I want to invest a lot. I would like to encourage a lot of startups who are working in making money easy and accessible for various category of people, especially in the Bharat part, which is what we call financial inclusion, right? So, as per World Bank's report, which is actually comes as a global Findex data, uh, India achieved financial inclusion to the level of 80%. So from 40-50% 10 years back to 80% has been a great jump for a country like India with such a population. But most of the efforts have come from the government in terms of Jan Dhan initiatives, right? So while the situation is good, where we have a digital public infrastructure, we have the entire Aadhaar framework, we have Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. Yeah, so we famously call it the JAM framework. So using that, there can be a lot of innovations for financial inclusion for the interiors of the country. Because what has happened is account to khul gaye. सारे dormant पड़े हैं. How do you make people use those accounts, right? And they are not going to walk for 5 kilometers just to withdraw 100 rupees, yeah, or even deposit something because that's what they save, right? So how do we make them not just literate in terms of digital and financial literate, but we also give them the right innovation backed tools so that they are able to manage their money sitting at home and still are able to live their life in a very dignified manner. So I think financial inclusion in true letter and spirit will happen only when everybody is able to use what has been made available. So it's one thing is give them access. Second is also ensure that they are using it and they are able to use it, because otherwise innovation has no meaning, right? So I think education and innovation goes hand in hand, And I think even 10 crores is not enough for such a large objective like that.
Of course, of course. Ivy, thank you so much for coming on this show. It was an absolute honor to have you here.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.